Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to UNSW Sydney. And let me begin by giving a warm welcome to Bapak Apedi Kurnia Buana, Consul General of Republic of Indonesia in Sydney. Bapak Boy Darmawan from Consulate General of Republic of Indonesia in Sydney. Professor Bram Maryadi from Western Sydney University, and George Roditis from UNSW Founders, and all distinguished participants in person and online. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sari Puspita Dewi. I'm a PhD student here at UNSW Sydney. I'm very humbled to be a Master of Ceremony for Ideas Towards Indonesia 2045. I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal of the Yura Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay my respects to the elders, both past and present. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Innovation, Development, and Excellence Toward Advanced Indonesia 2045. This event is proudly held by Indonesian Students Association Australia, or commonly called as PPI Australia. Everything starts from ideas. So does the vision of Indonesia 2045. As Indonesia is currently benefiting from demographic dividend, it is good to discuss further the ideas of Towards Indonesia 2045 from Indonesian students' perspectives. We provide opportunities for Indonesian students in Australia to pitch their ideas from different aspects, which allows Indonesia to achieve its 2045 aspirations. Let me read the rundown. Today's event will include opening remarks from Bapak Fedi, followed by the finalist presentations. Also, there will be a judging by panels and a voting for the People's Choice Award during the break. After that, there will be a presentation from UNSW Founders with the topic of ideation to creation. And finally, we will end with the announcement of the winner, the closing, the certification, and then photo shoot, and the last one is networking. Now, I would like to invite Bapak Apedi Kurnia Buana, the Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia, to give opening remark. Please, Bapak Apedi.
Terima kasih Bu Sari, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Alhamdulillah, tentu puji syukur kita panjatkan kepada Allah Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa, karena berkahnya, rahmatnya kita bisa bertemu lagi pada kesempatan siang ini pada acara yang luar biasa, Ideas, Innovation, Development, and Excellence Toward Advanced Indonesia 2045. Program. Terima kasih kita bisa bertemu di sini, and also thank you very much George for coming here for representative of UNSW, and of course this is indeed my honor, my privilege to be here along with you all here, and it is also very proud all of you. Terima kasih Pak Yudi, terima kasih juga jajaran dari PPI yang sudah mengintroduce acara ini, introduce this kind of activities. It is indeed very important because we all understand in 2045 Indonesia will celebrate 100 years of Independence Day, golden era, golden year. Maybe some of you say, what for? It is still 23 more years, 2045. But the next 20 years will be the leaders of Indonesia. Maybe some of you will be ministers, maybe bankers, maybe influential people, of course, maybe president, why not? And it is in your hand, actually, where Indonesia going to be, akan kemana Indonesia. Jadi saya kira ini sangat-sangat penting sekali, juga ini menjadi ajang perhatian teman-teman semua di sini. Teman-teman yang sekolah di sini di bawah program PPI yang luar biasa ini mengadakan kegiatan ideas ini. Dan what I heard is this is the first program and there will be follow years to come with a similar program. And also mentioned by Pak Yudi barusan ya, kalau nggak salah nanti next year is going to be thematic according to the maybe field of academy, the health sector maybe, in the management, public administration, and everything. I think it's also very, very useful later on. And I think next also will be, it's not only here from Australia, but why not PPI here, ISA here, to also introduce to the Global Student Association. I think it's very good initiative. And of course, on behalf of the Government of Republic Indonesia, representative of Government of Indonesia in Sydney, we very welcome these positive activities led by the PPI Student Association here in Australia. And terima kasih juga tentu, thank you very much for New South Wales UNSW providing facilities, tempat yang bagus sekali ini, dan juga tentu semua jajaran PPI New South Wales tentunya, UNSW, dan juga PPI semua yang dari sini. We, representative of the Government of Indonesia, always support this positive initiative from students. You will not stay here. One day you have to go back to Indonesia, and together we develop Indonesia to be to raise Indonesian Golden in 2045, Indonesia Emas 2045. Sebagaimana disampaikan, as we all know that actually only in June, Indonesia, Presiden Joko Widodo introduced the RPJM, rencana pembangunan jangka panjang 2025-2045 pada bulan Juni yang lalu. Pada waktu itu Presiden Jokowi menyebutkan bahwa untuk mencapai Indonesia Emas 2045 dibutuhkan, sangat dibutuhkan, itu diulang lagi oleh Presiden, smart execution. Smart execution oleh siapa? Tentunya oleh smart leadership, oleh strong leadership yang berani dan pandai mencari solusi dan punya nyali. Jadi kegiatan ini saya kira sekarang sudah diikuti 18 orang, kita dapat 5 finalis sekarang. Next year saya yakin akan semakin banyak lagi, sehingga di tahun 2045, 20-30 tahun mendatang betul-betul sudah teruji sejak dari sekarang. Jadi Indonesia ke depan ada di tangan Anda semua. Saya mungkin sudah pensiun pastinya, apakah saya masih ada nggak tahu juga, namanya umur, udah tua juga saya. Jadi semua masa depan Indonesia ada di tangan teman-teman semua. Saya bangga, saya senang sekali. Dan saya dengan resmi dengan membaca Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, maka kegiatan ini saya buka. Demikian, terima kasih. Mohon maaf segala perkenan.
Thank you, Bapak Ferdi. Yes, I agree with you. We should prepare where we are going to Golden Year of Indonesia. Okay, on to the next event. I would like to explain the technicality of the presentation. The presentation will be performed by each finalist for approximately 8 to 10 minutes. After that, there will be a 5-minute question and answer session from the judging panel. Before we begin the presentation session, I would like to introduce you to the judges, which are Professor Gang Marjadi from Western Sydney University, Bapak Fedi Kurnia Buana, Consul General of Republic of Indonesia, and George Rodriguez from UNSW Founders. Okay, this is it. Are you ready? Okay, I would like to introduce our first finalist. The first finalist is Faris Nur Khulafa from Monash University, currently taking master degree in education focused on regional learning. He's going to present his idea entitled Ju Tawan, a sustainable cooking oil management. Faris Nur Khulafa, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Paris. Sorry. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Paris. I'm a proud co-founder of Jutawan by Jepara Green Generations. And I've got incredible story to share with you today. But before we deep dive into Jutawan, let's go back to the Jutawan backstory. Jutawan is not only a business, it is a vital part of our organizations called Jepara Green Generations. Our organizations that my friends and I established 5 years ago. Our aim is to increase community awareness about environmental issues and climate crisis in my city, Jepara. As other non-governmental organizations, we face financial challenges. That's why my friends and I come up with the social enterprise ideas to make our organizations more sustainable financially. We used to craft a proposal and seek funding from corporate institutions and organizations, but we realized that it's not sustainable. While we have this kind of a challenge that leads to limited impact and growth, we meet one of the food and beverage business owner, Amelia. Amelia is a small business owner in Jepara, Indonesia, that face frustration because she produces like 40 liters of used cooking oil every month, and she has no idea how to manage used cooking oil. You may wonder, like 40 liters is trivial. 40 liters is no joke. It is equivalent to half of a beta. And there's not only like one Amelia. There are like 1.54 million food, micro and small enterprises in Indonesia only. And it's not only about economic issue. It is environmental crisis. If 1 liter of used cooking oil end up in fresh water, it will contaminate around 1 million staggering fresh water. And for Indonesia to be an advanced country in 2045, one of the pillars and foundations that need to be ensured is a sustainable economic progress, meaning that we are not only focusing on economic growth, but we also ensuring and nurturing the environmental issue in our country. That's where Jutawan steps in. We are ready to be the hero of the day. Jutawan stands for Jelantah Jutukan Cuan, or with 2 words. We are transforming sustainable cooking oil management. This is our business unit that will fund our organization Jepara Green Generations, while also solving the problems of food and beverage business owner in Indonesia, while tackling the environmental crisis in Indonesia. You may wonder, how does it work? Basically, F&B business have 2 options. Whether they can call us and we will pick up their used cooking oil, or they can drop their used cooking oil at any of our 7 collective drop points. And we will purchase their used cooking oil. Not only solving their problems, but we also giving them financial goods. And we will partner with recycling company and convert the oil and co-create a variety of products that is more valuable, such as biofood, candles, and also soap, promoting circular economy. And we're not only like solving immediate problems, we want to give like long-lasting impact. This is Jutawan Jelantah Jutukan Cuan added value. We will create a community, a club that consisting of F&B business and empower them, giving them educations to be environmental conscious. Content around like risk management and also waste reductions will be the main curriculums that we will empower in the F&B business as part of our community. Let's talk about the exciting part, the market potential. Indonesia only produced 9.72 million meter cubic per year, producing used cooking oil. At the average price, based on our internet survey, is $0.7 per liter. So we estimate that the market value is around $6.8 billion. And this is our current business model right now. Currently, we do partnership with 2 recycling companies, and we earn margin around 20 under 60%. And all of the margin and profit that we get will fund our organizations, Jepara Green Generations. to make more projects and also programs to improve awareness in our city against Jepara. We already conducted this business since November 2022 until May 2023, and we gained significant fractions. We use our marketing channel through our Instagrams, and we collected 600 liters of used cooking oil, achieved NPS score around 92%, and secured 40 transactions. We firmly believe that we are positioned to solving these problems because we are under the community that already established for 5 years. There are like 10 core meetings consisting of experts of social media specialists, community development, and also food and beverage business owners that are part of us right now. And we also empower 30 volunteers that led by youth to tackling this issue. With our optimistic value, we have 3 goals that we want to achieve in 3 months. The first goal, we want more F&Bs to join us. Not only giving them the oil, not only they giving us the oil, but also part of our community to be environmental conscious F&B business in Jepara, Indonesia. To provide more sustainable business, not only for their economic growth, but also for sustainability. Not only for F&B, we realize that these problems are also faced by the community itself, or desa. This is a picture of Penganti village in Jepara, Indonesia, that we already conducted jutawan. And with this implementation, we believe that these problems are also faced by other communities in Jepara, other villages in Jepara. That's why in 3 months, we also want to partner with 5 other community leaders to be more sustainable communities in Jepara. With that goals, it leads us to the third goals, which are collecting more oil, 600 liters oil per month. Our end game is crystal clear. We want to be a sustainable waste management center in our city, Jepara. Not only like providing a service for cooking oil management, but also other waste management. Because we realize that waste issue in Indonesia is crucial. Therefore, we want to make a center that also managing organic waste, recycling waste, and other waste to be a sustainable city. As we derive from a youth-led empowerment initiative, we also want to continue to be more progressive in terms of environmental issue in our city, Jepara. We came to these competitions not only for the prize, because we already run this business, we're looking for a mentor. If any one of you want to be a mentor in digital marketing, manpower management, and also market research, please let us know, because that would help us to create more sustainable impact for Jepara and also for our community and for our business jutawan. And if you want to give us improvement, because we know that there's always flow and room of improvement, please scan the barcode in the screen and then give us insights about competitive research, about improvement, about connections, pitching competition, business ideas, or anything that can help us to be a more sustainable business in the future. Let's unite to help jutawan for the better business and also environment. Together, we can make a real impact. Thank you.
Wow, brilliant idea. Actually, I also did that in my complex, in my home country. We collect the jalantah and then we will give to some communities who make candles or soap from our jalantah. I think that's great. So this is time for the question and answer session. Please, judges.
Hello. Congratulations on excellent presentation, and I think you are explained it very logically, clearly, exactly very following the rest of the world. I don't have much to do. I think that you should be commended, especially when it goes to I see very careful. One advice I would give is when you're highlighting the problem, make the problem stick because you mentioned hundreds of millions of these working in paper. That's a massive problem, and congratulations to you for addressing that. Will you continue the agreements on volumes in the last meeting of mental and emotional explaining what we're passionate about so that people really are consumer what those issues are. You need to make people understand how serious this is. But congratulations, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
I have to agree with George. It's amazing. It is a lot of capital spending for the whole of this week. I'm really sure. And I'm a big fan of pride with Indonesia. So I can clearly see the issue. A couple of suggestions is, Jakarta is, I have only been to Jakarta once, it's not exactly a big metropolitan city, but I was just thinking, apart from this industry, we're thinking about, people having good on the streets, because they actually probably have the least knowledge about how to protect the used oil. And also can we use the oil again and again and again. From many of the recycling that we have now, so the work actually has a lot of shopping and encourage them to throw away the oil before it becomes too bad. That will actually improve our community as well. So that's another angle you can put in your mind. Right? Number two, I know that this one university school of medicine already started processing the using research to process the oil. So that's another thing that we may want to consider collaborating with local universities. You can give us time and really do something, and then they need to use one last thing that was a quick question. How do you see the scale up to the whole country? I mean, you're very gradually identified industries in Jakarta. What are the ones you are finding those recycling businesses all over Indonesia? Have you tried? Around?
Yeah, in terms of searching recycling companies that we want to do partnership, we're actually looking for a recycling company in the Central Java and also in East Java. And there are like many of the recycling companies, but then one of the problems is the transportation itself. Because if you want to transport the used cooking oil into the recycling company that is quite far, then the cost must be expensive. So I think that is the main challenge of this business.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, class advice. It's really, I mean, it's very good the presentation. I really also want to getting to the so far, and also I think that very because on very good and we yes all the very progress from everyone on the community should be very like level in price and everything, and of course this kind of problem persisting all the way to Para or so maybe I just want to know whether you can maybe explore what is your long-term, I mean short-term strategy, mid-term and also the long-term, and the collaboration with universities in other area, and how you try to overcome this kind of getting.
Thank you. So our strategy, our end goal, as I mentioned before, we want to be a waste management center in our city, Jepara. So we're not aiming to scale this up to Indonesia because we want to make sure that Jepara itself already has established waste management centers. So that's why, like our long-term goals, we will create the waste management center itself. They're not only like the providing service for cooking oil management, but also other waste management as well. And our short-term goals right now that I also already mentioned is we want to improve the coverage of the F&B business that we cover. So we want to increase like 50 more F&B to join us. And also we will approach the community, desa-desa in Jepara, Indonesia to also collaborate with us. So that we will create like integrations of waste management in our city again, Jepara.
Yeah, thank you. Because this is being idea, and I think this is, I don't know whether any other companies also being established for the kind of these things. And I think you already start this startup companies, and I think this is potentially private, okay, same opportunity. Especially for you, also you include all the communities in the community living. And I hope European also can start already, I think, have a certain collaboration with universities and also start thinking we have to dream, right?
Yes.
Kita harus punya kita punya mimpi yang besar. There's a man maybe also you can find partner in Australia to understand in Australia very good in and also have to get economy. I think European being for Scotland and also London. So maybe 2045 is maybe Taiwan is maybe maybe unicorn, maybe unicorn. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, please give a round of applause once again for Pali. Thank you so much. Very insightful discussion from panel. Okay, now I would like to introduce our second finalist. She is a student of University of Melbourne, taking master degree in energy system, and she's going to present her idea entitled Mago Cham. So please welcome Ratu Atika Balkis.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming today. I'm not going to introduce myself, but I'm going to introduce you to the Mega Champ. But I want to ensure first, does anyone here familiar with Mega Champ? Can you please raise your hand? Megan, what is Megan? Yeah, Megan. But I'm gonna ask you, but correct me if I'm wrong. So Megan is the teenage larva of a fly, and in this particular case, we're gonna talk about the black soldier fly. It is very different with the common fly because it's clean. It's not bring any harm and didn't bring any bacteria to cause sickness for human, and it's a key. It has a rich protein that is a key player in the organic farming. And let me tell you a story how I fell for this tiny creature here. Like, it's a very cliche. I'm scrolling through my social media and I saw a post that a person fed this maggot with expired bread and has molded on it. But the maggot devour all the bread until it's gone. And that's the moment I know this maggot is the alternative, the natural alternative way to food waste management. Ironically speaking, Indonesia contribute into 14 million tons of food waste every year. At least that is what's stated by the Ministry of Environment. And the main resource of this waste is come from the household level and the market. The main problem is that the food waste, if it's left unmanaged, it will emit methane, which is the greenhouse gas and has the potency of 25 times than the CO2. And it really affects the climate change. And food waste is not something that we can fully avoid, but we can reduce. And even better, we can reuse it. And that is the idea of MegaChamp, turning our food waste into the insect food. So let's talk about the process here. We have a maggot. Some of it we dedicated into the product, into the MegaChamp product, and another will allocate it into the love cage. where the maggot turn into the black soldier fly and they reproduce, lay an eggs, which we call it eggs, and it will hatch and become another batch of maggot. So let's do some calculation here. Every 4 grams of eggs would turn into 10 kilograms of maggot, and it fits into 1 biopond with the area of 1 square meters. The whole metamorphosis process took roughly 3 weeks. And for this process, we need 40 kilograms of food waste to feed the maggot. So just imagine that if every 4 days the egg is hatched, it means every week we're gonna need 160 kilograms of food waste to manage. So we directly contributing into managing our food waste and also reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. But how to keep the maggot farming sustainable? We have to prioritize its supply chain, which is the food waste. And the strategy to keep the maggot farming sustainable by partnering with several stakeholders. In Indonesia, we have the local government that is very expertise in this area, which is the Ministry and the Department of Environment. They have the workers that will gather up the trash around the town, and then they will separate it into the organic and inorganic trash. And we as the Megachamp go there to the final destination, gathering up the organic waste, and we choose which food waste is suitable for our maggot. And we bring back to the facility, we process it, we reduce the size, we reduce the water content, and give it to our maggot. So this approach can also involve another stakeholders such as the supermarket and the traditional one, since they supply daily food waste such as expired food and unmanaged organic waste. We can also involve the restaurant, the residential area. But the most important thing is we engage the local community by locally hiring them into our facility. So we provide the trainings that we can directly practice how to manage our food waste, and we can also contribute into the boosting the local economic growth. And that is why I would like to emphasize the product and the service that is offered by Megachamp is very involving in the economical and environmental goals, such as for the animal food in poultry area. There is already an assessment that said if compared to the processed artificial feed, it has the average market price similar and tends to have a lower price. And the derivative product from the maggot, it's not only the maggot, but it can be processed into the insect oil. And it is already done in Sudan and other part of the world. It can be used as a medical, as a cooking oil. Believe me, it's not that disgusting, but even I do not want to try it. But anyhow, the insect oil can be used also for the personal product, for skincare and medical. And the maggot farming is very sustainable that even the food residue that we got from the maggot itself during the growing process can be used as the fertilizer. We call it cashback. So not only you have a pet food for your home, you can also fertilize your plant. And that will be the product. But for the service, Megachamp will offer the cultivating package. So this will encourage a household level to have their own food waste management. We're really encouraging our people to manage our food waste. And of course, comes with that the training. So everyone who wants to know more about the maggot farming can come to us. And there is a processing facility. Actually, this was my dream product. It's the large scale of the cultivating package. It's powered by the AI system. So we can do mass production, we can award it to farmers, to breeders, so they can lift the maggot itself. It will do a mass production, reduce the cost, and then it can customize the food waste to be given to the maggot. So it fulfills the market demand. And obviously, this is our target that we want to change. the poultry, the aquaculture, obviously. And then what I would like to emphasize again is that we want to encourage the household level to have their own food waste management. And nationally, we're contributing to waste management and reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. So the mega will contribute into tackling this 7 point of SDG issues, but not only SDGs. We can also the megatrend can also supporting the Indonesia Aspire on 2045 in terms of food security, because we give the insect our food waste. The insect will turn into the animal farm food, and the animal will become our food. It's very sustainable, and we still greenhouse gas. So because we also do local sharing, it means that we manage to engage the local community, our people, to have a human resource that is very independent and have a sustainable life. As I said before, this is my future goal that I really hope that in the future, the mega champ will be fully automated with AI system. And since I'm commencing in Master of Energy System, I really hope that all the farming is powered by 100% clean energy. And actually there's a SWOT analysis here, but since I'm running out of time, I'm gonna leave it there, and that's my intention. So you are curious about it, and we can have a further discussion after this session. So I'm Ratu, guys. Thank you very much for listening to my.
Thank you, Ratu. To be honest, I feel shivery to see all the maggots, but as well, I'm also amazed by the ideas. Okay, so you will have 5 minutes question and answer session by the judges.
Very interesting. Food waste is a massive issue. We have agreed to that. I like to think of questions. First is, how do these really doing work? As if we're like, as Bruce going to, your army in selecting the rights or food rights, and then which is joining with industry, which might join with academic groups or university students. Who do you think is going to be involved in funding this initiative?
Thank you for the question. Since my name is Will, hello. My name is Will. So yeah, army that it will be to calculate. So I will have my friends. The first thing start at the household level, starting my own house, and then I learn what I can see. So it will be based on the how and operation. That is the information. So it's not my instinct, but it's area looking. I'm interested to promote your forest that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you again, simply good idea, and also it's proud of the activities you're doing, people doing, and maybe we experience that we now finish our work, and then sometimes we have to think where our waste will be. That is again great idea. And even though you mentioned this only the idea, but I guess I think you will start making it real, because again, it's very important. While you are here, community problem all over, not only in Indonesia, but here, but also the similar problem. And yes, and then you can maybe you can start making this idea but even in India, maybe that's again, I don't know, I intend to, what you say actually, it is what actually, well, the problem is in all, right? Just need you and maybe you will get the try this, the idea with you or community here, and why you are here in Australia and also you can start here. But you can also can share your idea to your friends and government in Indonesia. And it's something let's say we saw you watch about that is really important.
There's a continuing part of the story in the story of media and how we started the people. We found that certain strengths, we have the same strengths with media. Fortunately, my friend, I conducted this chat in this hometown, which is reality. That's why I wanted to implement the champion and the sound. But again, I want to encourage Indonesia, having the forecast would
Lot of excellent discussion. Idea is how now, I do have a concentrate for I think it's the first thing I want to concentrate on. We haven't done any kind of unity balance analysis. And unity balance, so all the time is that. And so what I'd like to know more about is how you reverse how many maggots or how many kilograms of food will convert to having kilograms of fertilizer. The reason is we can't do it in the midst of a fertilizer shortage. Fertilizer markets are developing, and the time today is the next mile of good marketing and fertilizer and fertilizer marketing in this world. And so basically using in detail. Also, I am not a bioscientist, but I assume that by using planning fertilizer, there is some sort of I don't know, but it's too much. And like the environment, you turn this into something that produces enough to amount of you now have something that is unbelievable. And also has been completely mentioned. This is all the days which have been I will also encourage you to seek advice for the free liability, do not realistic failures. And finally, I will really praise that you can use the crowd. I think this is the moment of means the money and funding to scale immediately to show this life. I would really to show you that I would really want you to try and get that money. So we'll see how we can support you, but every country really just run through how to do like they work. That would be about
this one. Like I said, for 1 kilogram salt needed, you can get into the 1 meter square of biology. And sometimes fish can be very low, this is not incomplete. This shows the future that the cascade is still the compost. The ratio would be 3 for 1. 1 is going to be negative and 2 is previously positive. But all of this can take it like it's like how to do this first, and then you can process it, then you can write it here or say 1. But again, see how you some doing for that. I believe the natural fertilizer is safe to have like it's hot, so it cannot then in times, so we need to people for the I don't have that's a great thing.
yeah.
I really want to I just want to do in Indonesia and
But so I'm happy to speak with you about this further. I think honestly, you should partner up with some knowledge for expertise. Yes. And then if this is something that you can demonstrate, this is $100 million.
Yes.
Great, yeah.
Round of applause once again for giving a $100 million idea. Wow. Okay, before we go to the third presentation, I would like to ask you all the participants to turn off the mobile devices, at least the sound, because we really want to respect our participants, our presenters, of course. So please, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm okay with my voice. Don't you think? Okay, next, the third finalist. He is from, I know him, he's from Jakarta, I'm sorry. And then now he's taking a PhD in Arts and Social Science from University of Sydney. He's going to present his idea entitled hashtag Menuju Indonesia Inclusive, fostering a safe digital space for people with disabilities. Please welcome Umar Jamroni.
Good day, everyone. I believe when I entered the stage, all of you were focusing on my hands. Yes. But today, I want you to see how fabulous I look today. Thank you. This gorgeous appearance is only for you, as I am honored to be included as one of the finalists of Ideas PPI Australia. But above all, actually, I wanted to look as outstanding as Putri Aryan. The power of social media made us easily recognize her. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Before continuing to my presentation, I want to conduct a simple survey. Raise your hand if you use social media. I think everyone has. How many fake accounts do you have? No, that's not the question. Let me make it clearer. The next question is, raise your hand if every day you always spend disability topic on social media. Only 2. Thank you. Yeah, that's sad, but true. This is what I will present today. 3 months ago, I arrived in Australia like an empty glass until I finally poured an insight on how this country applies disability inclusion, not only in its policy, but also in practice. 3 days in Sydney, I was thinking that Indonesia is left far behind in terms of disability inclusion. Therefore, I am standing here to present on behalf of the people with disabilities in Indonesia. Indonesia's President Joko Widodo highlighted equality, human resources, and social media in order to achieve the advanced Indonesia in 2045. This includes people with disabilities who are 8% of our diversity. Researching social media at the University of Sydney, it is extremely upsetting to witness how Indonesian social media is flooded with less educational content. We are lacking of the representation of people with disabilities. Even more disappointing, disability topics are only brought up on social media in connection with bullying, discrimination, or even worse, rape. Imagine a happy child in a wheelchair who is smiling every day and she is being bullied. Even more sadder, the bullies are teenagers and even underage. Sad but true. Not only Putri Aryani, we also have Gracia, who is viral on social media after her dancing video is coming on social media. But the question is, does disability representation should go trending and viral? I believe it should not be like that. Brothers and sisters, I believe that it's not only about the people with disabilities. Above all, it is about how we foster a safe digital space for everyone. This is our role. This is our responsibility because we are entitled not only content viewers, but we are also content creators. Every WhatsApp status, every Instagram status, that's part of us as content creators. So as simple as that. Together with Rumah Disabilitas, I am holding my position in order to spread the spirit of inclusive Indonesia through digital campaigns. Why only digital campaign? Because I believe this is what we see every day. We always use social media every day. Imagine if a day we don't have internet, what would we do? I believe that. So we started in 2020 using social media because at the moment we are facing a pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. And also we are empowering the people with disabilities because at the moment there are so many discrimination against the people with disabilities. Therefore, we are conducting some online events through social media, and then we are helping them on the image is when we empower them to work, to have a good public speaking skills so they can introduce themselves independently. And also, hashtag Indonesia Inclusive becomes a digital movement that touches life of many. And we already received like more than 1,000 of posts on social media, both from disabled and non-disability users. Brothers and sisters, social media has its addiction. We always use social media every day. Therefore, I believe that it will be a positive way for us if we change that addiction for good. We can use the social media to educate people around us, to not believe in hoax, to only spread the positive news, and also foster a safer digital space for people with disabilities. You and I, we have the responsibility to foster a safer digital space, not only for our generation, not only your generation and mine, but also the generation after us who are tech savvy. Believe it or not, the tech savvy uses social media better than us. So it is our responsibility to educate them, to control them, to tell them to use social media wisely. And also, talking about disability inclusion, digital disability inclusion, it is not only part of how we foster the digital space for people with disabilities, but it is also our right. It is the public's right to have the diversity of content. In addition, today we are having the freedom of speech granted by our government. So it would be wiser for us if we control ourselves to use social media wisely. Especially Marshall McLuhan, a well-known communication professor, told that the medium is the message. What we see on social media is what happens in our society. So we can use social media for a better purpose. We, Indonesia, are so much stronger than that. We can foster an inclusive society because that's not only my hope, not only your hope, but it's the hope of millions of people with disabilities in Indonesia who are marginalized, who are discriminated against, who cannot even access their rights. Therefore, through these digital movements, I believe you and I can take part in that. I'm Umar, and I stand for disability inclusion. My glass is now full, and I ask you together menuju Indonesia Inclusive. Thank you. Hey there, we have
It is a privilege to be able to have your information, and I say this is what I recognize as being extremely brave and so again, the question here of how social media is used and sometimes recognized is one that the privilege started raising probability of. And it's something that we need to address. I would say that if you can work this out, you got to be the third one. This can be something that can be pushed to governments, can be pushed to certain organizations. If we can work out how to work at least, I don't use the word very well. How social media is used, we can turn it into what we right now is breathless and is lawless and so I hope that you have successfully further. I don't know, my background is in startups and entrepreneurship. These are my 30, so I don't know how this is, but I do wish you that what I think is a great initiative and we're going to go on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If I can, answer. So actually, this is my PhD thesis at the University of Sydney. And both of my supervisors have a great background in civility and social media. So I believe that it's a very important issue, as mentioned by our president, because today social media is only used for hate, for fake news. So why can't we use it for its positive action? And then talking about the action itself, we have done it since 2020, and we have empowered people with disabilities, especially I hold a scholarship from LPDP. So we empower them to use their access to education. So now we already have like around 10 friends with disabilities who are studying using LPDP as well. So we are very grateful that this digital platform could empower others. And then also for the digital platform, yes, this research is aimed to also contribute to Indonesia's regulation, especially related to social media, because we still do not have the regulation on social media. So yeah, that's what I have discussed with both my supervisors to provide a policy draft for our government, because Indonesia has established a National Disability Commission, I mean. So it will be a positive action if we can foster a safe digital space, once again, not only for the people with disabilities, but also for everyone, because it's our rights.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And yours is a voice that is very much needed. So yes.
You mentioned very emotional actually. In the last 10 years, I have been working a lot in the area of social justice. And disability in Indonesia is definitely absolutely not, way up in including disability into everything. Really important work, social media, as you already mentioned, incredibly powerful. So yeah, thank you so much for your idea. It's a simple idea actually. It's making it very doable because it's not overly complicated. It's actually about something simple but potentially a massive impact. I just have one very practical question. Which group would you start first? I mean, which group do you think will be the first to engage in this social media movement? Who do you think will first be the one pushing the hashtags and everything like that?
Thank you so much. My supervisor, Professor Jan Smith Mary, told me that it needs a life-based experience. And yes, why I am presenting this, because it's based on my experience. I was rejected by 10 schools. So I was late for school, and then I was rejected by 5 private universities in my country. It's only because my hands is like this. They do not assess my equality. That's why I am at Rumah Disabilitas. I work for Department of Education. And also for this digital movement, before doing this digital movement, I also engage with the mothers of disabilities, because first we have to educate the mothers, because one aspect that we need to educate is their parents, how they should accept their children. When they see me, I'm doing my master's, and they feel empowered. Okay, I believe that my son, my daughter can do the same with you. That's the first. And then for the digital movement, since we are doing it amid the COVID-19 pandemic, so the target is the disability itself. That's why on my slide, I have a public speaking training since my background is communication. So I told them, so I trained them to be able to speak because by speaking, only speaking, they could present themselves. That's the power of confidence. And then for the hashtag, it's not only for the disability, but also you and I can take part for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih teman-teman luar biasa very well and really it's that I mentioned around people. But also terima kasih juga. I'm very happy that you are here in Sydney, Australia. We all know it's Australians who are in related are kind of very affected this kind of disability. I think you can learn a lot here in Sydney and also here in Australia. This yes, simple idea, you already know the problem. Maybe you can also share what is the aim, the goal, only inclusive or what else? Or maybe you want to create an application through the social media or the relevance that you mentioned before they can platform and you could chat to ask something about the disability and maybe which kind of the disability maybe you will go first in of course you maybe there's a lot of idea regarding disability, inclusive disability, but maybe you can also have the again the prioritize which disability maybe always sector you want to taking care first and then second priority sort of again from the interpretation point of view, you know the next 10 years, maybe next 20 years, when it's your goal.
Thank you. From the short-term goal, the most important thing is to empower the person with disability itself. So as I mentioned, I have empowered 10 people with disabilities who are able to receive their access to higher education funded by LPDP. And then the middle-term goal is related to social media, how we can foster a safe digital space, not only for disabilities, but also for everyone. And last but not least, when we talk about the Indonesia Emas 2045, it's not only about that, it's beyond that. So the target is how Indonesia is fostering its commitment towards SDG number 10, reduce inequalities. So it needs not only national commitment, but the global commitment through SDG. So that's the goal in which when we talk about inclusion, inclusivity, the global inclusion tagline is nothing about us without us. So why don't we advance together Indonesia Emas 2045 without leaving no one behind? So I believe that's the goal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then once again, please give applause to Masha. Wow. And then because I'm amazed, so I just missed my my cue card here. Okay. Next. I will call the fourth finalist. She's from University of Sydney, currently taking Master of Commerce, and she's going to present her idea entitled Goro Baku, Gerobak Andalanku. Please welcome.
So, good afternoon, Guru buddies. So, I want to ask you one question, and please put your hand up. Did you ever crave for bakso back home in Indonesia? But then there were no abang bakso that passed by your house. Or when you were not craving for it, they just passed your house multiple times. Well, that's happened to me multiple times. And from the other side, sorry. And from the other side, from the abang bakso point of view, when they passed by street A, there were no buyer in there. No one wants to buy bakso. But then when he moved to street B, there are buyers from state A that want bakso. And mistransaction, no one happy about that. I know that not getting bakso when we want it the most is the problem, but we have a bigger problem here. So in Indonesia, there are two business sectors. The first one is agribusiness, and the second one is non-agribusiness. And the non-agribusiness one, there were 26.7 million of business, and that is equal to the size of Australian population. And non-agribusiness sector consists of formal and informal business. Informal business means that the businesses don't have fixed location. It includes the street vendor and also mobile street vendor. And informal also means that they don't have valid regulation, they don't really have valid working permit, and they also don't register their business into formal institution. But they are legal to operate, and they also contributing to GDP. Speaking of contribution, non-agribusiness sector contributes 86.39% to GDP. Yet, the average daily income of the people that working in informal sector only 5 until 25 AUD. However, despite the average low income, they continues to grow, and they grow 51.7% over the last 10 years. And let's take a little bit more detail about informal sector. So back home in Balikpapan, I interviewed 9 mobile street vendors, and we found 6 key pain points. The first one, unfamiliarity with the neighborhood. So especially for newcomers. The person here in the middle, he just arrived in Balikpapan, and he didn't know where to go. He didn't know where to sell his tahu sumedang. And then he's going home without any money for a couple of days. The second one, even the existing mobile street vendor also still challenges. They still feel challenging to find optimal selling road. The third one is monotonous selling road. So they always go to the same road every day, and it resulted on the untapped business, untapped potential buyer. The fourth one is permit and regulation. Some of the residency in Indonesia were not allowed mobile street vendor to enter their area, just because they think that there might be something unwanted to happen. The fifth one is marketing and promotion, and the sixth one is payment issue. Because when the mobile street vendor get to the buyer buy the product or services with huge nominal amount of money, and they have no cash in hand. So it ends up that they need to collect that money in the other day. So building on this problem, I want to introduce you to Guru Baku. It is a platform that will connect the mobile street vendor with its customer. And Guru Baku itself consists of 2 applications. The first one is for the buyer, we call it Guru Baku for resident. The second one is for the seller itself, we call it Guru Baku for partner. And looking at the detail for each application. The first one for Guru Baku for resident. So what we offer here is interactive map. So the buyer can see the location of the street vendor by looking to the maps, and it is indicated by the icon. So once they click into the icon, they can see what product or services that the mobile street vendor sell, and also the exact location. The second one is list of mobile street vendor. So the buyer can see the list of mobile street vendors that nearby their location. The fourth one is product information. The fourth one is communicated directly with the mobile street vendor through chat. The fifth one is real-time notification. So when the buyer make the street vendors become their favorite, the application will send notification, oh, your favorite street vendor is here. And then the last one is integrated payment gateway by using Castle payment. The next one is for Guru Baku for partner. The first one is geofencing marketing. So like I said before, the Guru Baku will instantly send notification to the customer. The second one is product promotion. The third one is operate securely to address the restriction to enter certain areas. The fourth one is communication through chat again, and the fifth one integrated payment. And the most important feature of Guru Baku partner is data insight, because we will provide the mobile street vendor with the most optimal selling route and also give them recommendation to several crowded spots within the city. And then we already talked about the problem and the feature. And what is the impact of implementing Gorobaku? The first one is create job offer. The second one, contributing to the accomplishment of SDG number 1 is end poverty. The third one, assisting government in terms of data collection, so we can help the government gradually convert the informal business into formal business, and then increase the daily income of street mobile vendors, increasing the GDP contribution, and ultimately, our ultimate goal is we want to be part of the accomplishment of Indonesia Vision 2045. Sorry, that is especially the second pillar, that is sustainable economic growth. So, how Gorobaku going to sustain until that time? We want to create a business scheme that we will charge the user, both the buyer and also the seller, monthly fee, and that is equal to 0.5 AUD or 5,000 rupiah. And assuming that one household will only have one application, it means that our target market is the total household in Indonesia and also the total household of the total number of mobile street vendors. And by that, in Indonesia, there are 76.8 million households. And that means by applying this business scheme, we got recurring revenue as much as 38.4 million AUD and 9.44 million AUD from the mobile street vendor. By having this recurring revenue, we hope that it can support the operational activities of Gorobaku and help Gorobaku to always give impact to the society. And then this is the roadmap of Gorobaku. So currently we already done the development phase in the beginning of 2023. And at the end of 2025, we hope that we can launch the Gorobaku 2.0. So the application that already done measures through improvement of user interaction, user interface, and also technological side. And hopefully it will penetrate the household and also mobile street vendor in Indonesia. And now meet the team. So the team of Gorobaku itself only consists of 2 people. The first one is the CEO. He currently works in Telkom Indonesia back home in Balikpapan. And the second one is myself, who currently enroll in Master of Commerce Extension at the University of Sydney. And lastly, I want to highlight that Gorobaku is not just an application. Gorobaku is not just a platform. Gorobaku is a movement towards better future Indonesia. So Gorobaku, Gerobak Andalanku.
Thank you, Dia. Please stay there because we will have 5 minutes to question.
And,
Yes.
very, very, thank you very much for that. I unfortunately have yet to experience one of the street foods. And now I can't wait. I'm very excited. Can I ask a question? You're part of City University, right?
No,
Yes.
unfortunately not. But yeah, I'm planning to bring Gorobaku to have the integration with institutions. Yeah.
Yeah, my advice is, you should, and, so put a practice on. I mean, I look at this as something that we are hugely right? But there are things that we can work with on rules thinking, and now after the university, right? It's little things because the idea is so powerful and we don't come up with and see it and we need that, see your, you've got so much for you. For instance, when you say that you're building out of market and selling market, well, you're not going to achieve it. You're listening to what happens. So from a some of the we just differently. That is not being our own work. Your work is excellent. I want to highlight that. I think it's been a very significant job. And I would like to see it going parliamentation huge. And I think we're right to do it. But there's some pretty important programs because I think that is
Okay.
okay.
And yeah.
Can I ask now as well? I'll have to-
Yeah, actually, one of the reasons I joined this event is because we got first funding from Telkom Indonesia, but I'm like, we need another mentor to keep the Gorobaku keep going. So I think this is a great place to meet like mentor that really knew how to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I love street food, so that's amazing, I can identify with the issue that we are. I agree with George. I think, living all households in Indonesia will be very difficult. I think it's mainly for, the urban areas. But at the same time, I'm thinking, why not food vendors? Because, like in Java, for example, you can actually have other people selling things around, and not necessarily food, but it can be groceries, and it can be jamu, perhaps, other herbal medicine. It can be other things, and I'm also thinking about the equity angle for this. What about people who cannot leave their home? And they cannot go out and find, and if they can connect with the vendors, and perhaps after, at certain hours in the day, the vendors can sort of sway over in a certain areas or something, because they can help people with caring responsibilities at home, people who cannot leave their homes or who cannot leave the office much, for example. So there's an equity element into this idea. And I think there's a lot of other sort of similar groups that you can connect with, so it's in the beginning of an idea that is way bigger than street food. So have to think about that.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. So I just want to answer that a little bit. So, but with Gorobaku, we have the feature chat. So the purpose of that chat is not always like we come or meet the street vendor, but we can also call them to like in front of our house or meeting in a certain meeting point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done.
As in yeah, it's again great idea and also some of the idea you really getting very deep, it seems to be more. But again, I believe you also already anticipate maybe some of the brand problem. Just like maybe the movement of the sector itself, maybe kind of limited. Maybe you also kind of have sitting area maybe. Di satu kelurahan saja, one kecamatan, one komplek maybe, because in one certain area you also need a lot of pengalaman. But again, how you manage the competition between all your partners and how you pick up the partners, I believe you not only receive all the partners, double partner in collaboration, but also education, how you can responsible, how is every partner is really, in order to the population, the maybe help in the business and everything. And also about marketing, when you set the area, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of hours. How do you manage that?
Yeah, thank you, Bob, for the question. So, yeah, we aim to like the kind of we aim to recruit it from the residents, so from complex to complex, instead of like targeting the huge like Balikpapan itself. We will do it like from complex to complex, and after one complex is done and everything going great, and we can take learning from that. We can implement the other system to the other residency itself, and also to make sure the cleanliness and also to make sure that they are responsible seller as well. We plan to partner. So in Balikpapan, there are like a union for mobile street vendor. So we want to partner with that and ask who is their member, and we can approach and starting from that. And also in terms of competition, to be honest, Gorobaku will not, Gorobaku will only help them to promote their product to our social media, but in terms who gets there first, who will get the customer, is totally up to the mobile street vendor. Thank you. Thank you.
Very valuable insights from the judges, and also there is a nice offer that George offered you to be a mentor. Nice. I hope that Gorobaku not only growing in Balikpapan, but also to other cities. Okay, next, the last one. Are you ready, Mr. Muhammad Shihab? Okay, I think I'm okay with my voice. Can you hear me, people online? Okay, so the last one, he's from Monash University, currently taking PhD in education, and he's going to present his idea titled the exclusive uniform. Please welcome Muhammad Shihab Ahmad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Have you ever found a Nike product which is labeled made in Indonesia? Yeah, Panji Pragiwaksono has said in his special show that in Old Trafford, he surprisingly found a Nike project, Manchester United jersey labeled made in Indonesia. Brother, do you know Manchester United? Of course. That looks very nice, right? Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. So Manchester United is one of the great football club in UK, and they trusted the product which is made by Indonesian hand. Muhammad Shihab Asad, you may call me Shihab. Obviously, I don't have any family relationship to Quraish Shihab, Nadwa Shihab, or even Atta Halilintar. Shihab. So let's take into the problem definition. That's why we as Indonesian has an ability to create a world-class product. However, some of us are not brave enough to enter the international market proudly as an Indonesian brand, especially for the uniform sectors. Have you ever heard about Erigo? Perhaps some of you think that they are already reached the international market. Why should we do the same? We have different target market. These brands are concerned with the personalized and up-to-date product. And we are different. We are different and fresh. We are going to concern to penetrate the Australian market, especially for the uniform sectors in schools and also universities. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see the roadmap and also the plan that we have already built. We have been conducting a little market research. We have been to screen printing companies, school uniform shops, and many other potential markets. We then realized that most of the products are from China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and etc. We see there is a huge opportunity here for us Indonesians to break the market. And also we all have already accessed the ebisworld.com to see the obstacles, the possible obstacles for us who would like to enter the Australian market. As you can see here, the barriers to entry is low. That's why we do believe that we have a huge opportunity here to enter the Australian market. Let's talk about the market share, or we can simply say that cake to share. So this is the cake to share in clothing industry. The total is $23.3 billion. For the industry of the uniform school, we only focus on the boys and girls clothing. In the total, $2.5 billion. Let's say 10% of those market is allocated for the uniform industry. So let's say $2.5 million. And we are planning to take 1% of the market share. And then let's take a look on who eats the cake. Who are the major players? Surprisingly, from the same source, you can see nearly 85% is other companies, which means that there are a lot of companies which has not been identified yet. That is one of the opportunity for us to get into this market. So in terms of the objective, we have two different goals. The first one, we are going to become one of the vendor options for the Australian schools. They will consider which product is the best deal for the students and the parents, especially for the middle down segment. And I see the competitors as the role models. Let's take a snapshots on their websites. As you can see here, that's the price for a single classic pants for the uniform in Melbourne. It's nearly $38. In our currency in Indonesia, it is higher than the salary of our teacher in Indonesia. So in terms of supply chain, Indonesia and also Australia is relatively close, so we can cut the distribution cost. That's why our first goal is trying to become one of the best and also affordable vendor for the school uniform. Furthermore, the unwanted fabric can be reproduced to become a very useful products, such as mats, pencil case, and everything. I think it is a really good waste management for us as a responsibility as the player in these uniform sectors. The second goals, of course, it will be related to Indonesia Emas 2045. I do believe that some of the finalists have already mentioned about this business will absorb the working age group in Indonesia. However, let's take a deep look into our president's vision in 2045. We are planning to grow our economy to be listed as the top 5 country with the strongest economy in the world. So let's have a look. Who has the 5th position with the strongest economy in the world? Don't you know, guys? Any guess?
China.
Almost. It's India, ladies and gentlemen. 5th, top 5 of the strongest economy. Because we have already know that India took the 5th position. Let's take a deep look into how India managed the garment or clothing industry. This is the statement of the Minister of Industry and Commerce in India. Let's take 3 bullet points here. The investment. Recently, we have already bought an embroidery machine because we do believe that after buying this asset, we could grow and scale up to the next level. Perhaps if you guys can see the fire in my heart, which burns the spirit to bring the Indonesian market business to the next level, you might want to work with us and become our partner. Because sometimes if we got a project from the government and we experience lack of the capital, we get the support from the casual investor. They support us because they trusted us. They trusted the business. So manufacturing, we consistently polish our product to meet our clients' expectation. The last one, the export. I have a friend, his name is Robbie Ridwansyah. He is one of the executive staff of Bank BNI. He contacted us and invited us to join one of the programs called Explora. That is a program by BNI to help the small business enterprise like us to grow up, to scale up to the next level, the international market. So is this idea feasible, relatable to Indonesia 2045? I do believe the answer is yes. Here is the distribution of our product to all major islands in Indonesia. And this is the projection of our target in 2020, sorry. We have survived from coronavirus by producing hazmat suit for the health worker. And 2024, we are planning to officially enter the Australian market. I don't believe in a Superman. I believe in a super team. So here is the super team of our business. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jihan. We
Yeah.
will have 1 minute.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, we also have pages of very closely with them. We have course on it. Yeah, it was problem. And what I will do is it's very close. I understanding where we sit level orientation. I mean, always not as related in the and more this actually uniform or this grade and also need to be related to I don't know. I don't see usually just present the idea, but not making the technical aspect. You are working there, but you can also present to us how to achieve it, how it means, you mentioned about what is the strategy. You mentioned about our and how to make it very problem.
Thank you so much for the question, sir. How to make it possible? So we have a brain map started from 2020. When I got a scholarship from the government, I then conducted a meeting with my team that we have to enter the international market, especially in Australia, because I will be there for 4 years as a PhD student. So since I have a team in Indonesia, they will do the operational thing. And here, my job is trying to do the marketing research and also do the visits to the companies, which is very potential for us to become the client. And also we do the visits to potential clients in many other Indonesian communities here. The first one, we have Indonesian schools in Melbourne. It is related to one of the huge Islamic community, and we have already trying to approach them to buy and also purchase their uniform from us. Actually, we have already got one deal from Islamic community in Melbourne, and Alhamdulillah, we have already achieved that. We still have a lot of things to figure out, especially for the supply chains, because it's really, really hard to send the product from Indonesia to Australia with a very legal and official way. Because sometimes we just buy the luggage from Indonesian students who would like to go to Australia. So up until now, those are the things that we have already implemented in our business to reach the future of our brand. Thank you, sir. I agree with you. I remember a few years ago, was it Denmark decided to start following voting for Indonesia because I was saying, I'm Australia kind of related to solving the thing, right? So they started choosing their friends in China. So they started buying from Indonesia. Just like you are looking in the Australian market, they are looking at Indonesia's product. The thing is, if you go forward, I mean, nowadays, you don't find that you don't have much, you still see anything kind of all the products. You don't really see that kind of thing. You can actually have products there. You can see them going forward. Yeah. So, simply about maybe, my question is, and it's not what has been done wrong? How come we are one of those savers for very long, but how come we haven't got this kind of relationship before, right? Because if it's wanting to market how to be but what was the reason for previous 5 years? That is something, and then the question is how can you do better than that?
Oh my.
Right? And then just say one other thing. I wonder if you have already investigated the souvenir business.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
The reason I did is, and I'm sorry, the specific direction from you. There are so many, you go to this market, and I don't know if you know,
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities of souvenirs that are mainly very much one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
For me, that's actually, quite really. I mean, that's something special that you why we have to seal that market, right? But they managed to penetrate the market. Right? So I think that's another challenge to how do you do the big penetration in the market? And on that note, I was wondering if you have been able to identify who are the gatekeepers for souvenir homes in Canada. Because one of them is great and one financial student, but in order to get your training, you cannot manage, you cannot approach your schools. You have to keep the big case.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for the really constructive feedback and also questions. Looking into previous failure, I think I'm afraid to say that it's kind of a political bias, I think that. And when you say that Australia is trying to see the supply from Indonesia, but when you go to Kmart, Target, you still see a lot of product which is made from another country. What I'm trying to say is we didn't see the whole result of the agreement. And I think that from the client perspective, which is Australia, I will not trying to buy the whole package from the fresh supplier. I think I'm gonna buy like 1% or 2% of the total request market. So perhaps they are trying to manage the agreement, the relationship, but it's not in a huge and significant scale. Yeah. So related to your suggestion for me to grab the big fish, yeah. I really feel the same. In Indonesia, yeah, we have to provide some kind of say percentage of the deals and some kind of like that. But I am trying to figure out the culture of the purchase of the business here. So wish me luck, sir, wish me luck, professor, wish me luck, everyone, that we can grow these ideas to the next level. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
The only question I have, why Australia? I really ask you, our market is very small. I don't understand, I don't have some I don't understand it. Because I don't understand it. I don't have enough kids.
Yeah.
And also the other secondary to our own questions of violence and especially I understand that in Australia we have also regulations. I don't know what anything is like, but basically my question is why not have we do that?
Thank you so much for the questions. The reason might be quite personal because this is the first time I enter or I go abroad.
Okay.
This is the first country.
Welcome.
Yeah. And I was shocked about the winter and everything. Yeah. And speaking about the size of the market that you said that we don't have enough kids, I mean, like it's not really huge, but you have already mentioned that the margin is quite big.
Is it?
Yeah. As you can see, previously I mentioned that the price of one single classic pants is $38.
Okay.
In Indonesia, you can find nearly the same quality is about $8, maximum $15. So I think that those gaps encourage us
to penetrate this kind of market? Thank you so much for your questions. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Please give applause to. I'm sorry, judges, I didn't fall up. If I heard some applause, I'm sorry. Thankfully. Thankfully, in my understanding. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally finished the finalist presentation session. So there will be people's choice winner from this event while we're waiting for the judges to give therefore, we would like to invite you to vote for your favorite presenter from today's presentation. I will remind you again. The first one is Farid with a sustainable cooking oil. Next, Rami with methods of food waste. And Umar with hashtag menuju Indonesia inclusive. Tian with trade vendor application. And Shihab with the uniform idea. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a link for you to vote. So, have you already found your favorite presenter? Somebody, please take a link. Okay, you can link. The numbers, please. What do I see? Pakai that. Don't do that. We'll be back at 4.
Biar kamu harus ya mungkin mau tanya dulu banyak konsernya awalnya aku udah sampai kenal dia emang di sana kan tapi dia ada atau mungkin pas dia di Manly kalau pas ada kelas nanti aku sambung deh. Oh, mana deh? Terus naik apa begitu sih? Udah. Jadi saya masih ya tapi gue jelek. Nah, kayaknya Mbak Ferry. Di Manly-nya sama sore.
Kita sudah jadi dia bagus.
Tapi sekarang tidak harus awalnya dia kalau saya bisa nyetir, susah kalau bisa nyetir, berarti kan harus menyediakan mobilnya. Kalau masih naik public natural banget, bisa ya kan bisa aku atau berapa orang? Mereka 3 orang pas anak kalau cuma dengan Uber masih Maksudnya hari Selasa, Senin ya, sampai supaya bisa kayak dinner sama bersama kamu. Oh. Naik mobil transport dari kalau aku juga dan perlu kebiasaannya gitu. Aku banyak banget loh dapat kayak gitu. Tapi rektor UGM naik public transport loh. Apa yang namanya itu naik bis ya. Itu ini. Ya,
No, you sit over here and I'll put it.
Oh, ini negara. Bisa. Ada apa ya? Dan gue anywhere ya. Kalian dan gue anywhere. Nanti kalau ada apa-apa, ngomong sama tante.
Gimana kalau ada toh Hai, how are you everyone? Tolong dibikin slide.
Ini ada. Mau ngapain kan? Akan ngapain? Kamu kok online ya? Ya udah. Ya udah kita juga nggak ngomongin apa-apa. Oh ya ada di soal ini oh ya make good berarti perbaikan si Amin. Kamu yang jadi artis. Wow. Untung saya. Kalau main ini ya. Dia luar biasa. Oke. Jadi batik. Mami YouTuber ya. Book writer aja ya. Katanya mami YouTuber, aku book writer. Lagi YouTuber mami, aku book writer katanya. Oh iya dong, book writer ya Ami. What kind of book are you doing? Aku orang. Enggak, mungkin maksudnya ini kita keluar. Boleh. Publisher. Kamu buat outline. I'm going to buy output. Also, you're going to be an illustrator. If you're doing the cover, it makes you can write about your school. You can tell stories about your school. All of them. Yeah, definitely. That's great.
Very, very close. Masukin aja loh. How about you? Bro.
Oh, kayaknya
Iya kan, papan yang belakang. Jauh aja. Iya. Iya. Ambil atau podcast kalau bagus. Iya, iya. Dibanding dari bis smart. Tapi bisa Iya, kalau gitu. Kita lagi
Well, we will coming back to our seminar. Thank you. Welcome back to IDEAS, Innovation, Development, and Excellence Award and Fund Indonesia 2025. Thank you. Now let's begin the session again with a presentation from UNSW founder. Results ready? Please application.
Okay, everyone, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you here to UNSW, on behalf of UNSW founders. I would like to wish you all Selamat Siang. Before I begin, I'd also like to just say personally how humble and honored I am to be able to give feedback and to participate in these normal ideas. You've heard some incredible ideas today from people that can really influence the future. And influencing the future is what we should all aspire. So just the fact that, you know, I managed to be here as part of so much time in my room is something that I deeply appreciate. And sorry, let's move on to the show. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional and very much support the ground, which are the very good people of the Eora Nation. And I'd like to note that they have been here for upwards of 60,000 years, sharing stories, sharing innovations, and they've never left. And so we are on their land, and it is very important that they're constantly aware of the scene. So, a little bit about me. My name is George Ramirez. I'm the founder and director of a company called Unisame. We make much better undergrads when we have technological solutions for anyone. Okay, so get started. Sorry, I told you. Yes. So, my name is George Davis. Thank you very much for your attention. It's okay. If you've got a brief look at this, leaving behind you, we have created a Unisame startup, the world's first punching bag, which is truly designed to be used without gloves. And it's been something that we've been working on for a few years with the help of the UNSW founders. Now, for those of you that don't know about UNSW founders, it's something that is a huge benefit to us students of UNSW. So I very much understand the level of privilege that I have here. UNSW founders was set up by Mr. Michael Crouch, who was the founder of Zip Water Systems, and he was an ex-alumni of this university. And so they set up a charitable philanthropic organization whose intention was to support UNSW alumni and students in entrepreneurial endeavors. So if any of you are studying here at UNSW, I'd like you to know that you are always welcome to come down to campus. It's completely free of charge. We don't take any equity, we won't charge you any money. All we want to do is help you convert your ideas into reality, because we recognize that this is one of the best engines for achieving change in the world. And so on that, I'd like to talk briefly about the importance of innovation. So without my slides, we're just going to make this a story. The whole point of what we do as entrepreneurs is that we try to solve problems. Entrepreneurship has existed in some form through the very beginning of humanity. When people discovered how to use fire and how to use tools, they had someone that would provide them with that firearm and those tools. Soon enough, it was someone that would provide them with food, and it was someone that would provide them with clothing. And so this exchange has been entrepreneurship, and it's followed up throughout all of our human development. But the crucial thing about entrepreneurship is that the principles that we use in order to innovate are not principles that humans have come up with. They actually belong to nature. They're part of how we evolved. You see, when planet Earth was just a bunch of mass and molecules, it needed to create a system. And this system was structured, and it was organized, and it was iterative in its processes. And what it would do is it would naturally overcome constraints. it would face difficulties, and the organisms that would survive would evolve to become more complex. And this played out over hundreds of millions of years to get to where we are today, where we have people like Elon Musk that can buy Twitter and shut it down in a month because it's now useless. So the point of what I'm trying to make here is that the processes of iteration, of trying things, of seeing what works and what doesn't, keeping what works and then improving that, is not something that we develop. It's something that's always been a law of nature. And we, as the future custodians of this planet, have an obligation to develop the very best ideas that we have. And so with that, one thing I'd like to mention is that I teach a few entrepreneurship courses here at the university. And one thing that I have noticed is this pattern, where it's not always the loudest people in the room that have the brightest ideas. It's not always the loudest people in the room that have the brightest ideas. Bright ideas can come from the people that you least expected. And that's why it's so important to listen to everybody the way we have today, to get input from people who may have one simple idea that can fundamentally change the lives of millions. This is the whole point of today's event. This is why it's such a privilege to be here. Congratulations to you for organizing such a fantastic initiative. And this is the way that we will change the world if we all combine our energies. So without having any graphics, I'm going to give you a mental mind map. You can just imagine, I'll act it out. 3 broad things that we try to achieve as entrepreneurs. So earlier I mentioned that for evolution to work, we require constraints. Does everybody know what constraints are? Constraints are limitations. They are things that make progress difficult. And the fundamental paradox is that yes, these limitations, they do slow us down, but without them, we would have no reason to improve. If I can ask you why humans never develop wings, one answer you might give me is because if we had, we would have never needed to develop planes and spaceships. So overcoming adversity, overcoming limitations is not just a part of the innovation process, it is its lifeblood. Without these constraints and limitations, we have no reason to. And so when we talk about these ideas, when we talk about the byproduct of cooking oils, when we talk about food wastage, when we talk about all these different things plaguing us, such as biases against people that are born with disability or experience it in some way. And when we talk about having an egalitarian and equal future for everybody, it's an obligation for us to take note of the constraints that we have, take note of our privilege, and help what we can. So this actually isn't just me rambling on right now about social theory. It is baked into the entrepreneurial model. In one of the processes that we use to identify successful business ideas, we try to pass them through a triple filter. One of them is, are they viable? Are they viable? Is this an idea that can actually happen? Another one is this idea feasible? And finally, is this idea desirable? So just by looking at these 3 filters, we're already identifying constraints. We're using them to our advantage. So this is what I would like to kind of leave you with, is just this idea, without needing to go too deep into the theory behind it, right? We do have tools and ways of scaling an idea from 0 to very large. And we do have organizations that can assist us with this. But if we don't take the lead and the first step, it's never going to get off the ground. Finally, I'll just leave you with a little story. There was in 330 BC, Alexander the Great, famous emperor, was in a place called Gordium in Phrygia. And he famously came across this massive knot. And the prophecy said at the time that whoever could resolve this knot, very big complex knot, whoever would resolve this knot would go on to become the leader of the nation. And in a dramatic fashion, Alexander the Great, not wanting to be the person that loses, well, that is sword and cut it in half. And so you can look at that and say, well, he cheated. But I would look at that and say that he prioritized action over everything. So as we said earlier, the people that often have the best ideas are not the loudest ones. That means we listen to everybody. But if you do have an idea that you think can change things, prioritize action. Try it out. Because it's those very ideas that can fundamentally change the future for the people that come after us. So thank you very much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to congratulating you.
Thank you so much, George. Please round of applause for George. What an amazing presentation from George, even without his presentation slides. Okay, I think I just want to have to wrap up what George said. So we have to keep what works, develop what we have, and then constrain the limitations and keep the viable and visible ideas. So, ladies and gentlemen, finally, this is what we are waiting for. We are going to announce our winner. Are you ready? After finalizing the voting counts, the people's choice winner is. Okay. I will have Putra as the project officer of IDEA to lead the certificate. Wow. Okay. Now I would like to announce the third, second, and the first winner. Very much. That the score from all the judges are very good. I already know. Very good. Like, yeah, very good. So, I will announce the third winner of IDEA. The third winner is Uma Jamori. And right after okay, the second winner of IDEA is yeah.
Yes,
Wow. You know, so between the second position and the first position, only two scores, you know, two scores. Okay, I'm gonna ready to give the certificate to
We want to for really we are grateful to have you today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, George.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, terima kasih.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I will invite all the families and
Nomor tempatnya lebih banyak dari yang pertama ya. Bagian ke sini. Oh iya.
You're the center. Okay, now we can go to the next. Remember, after we have facts there. Will be there. To get the use oil. And don't wait for food because not money
So I would say thank you for the whole and to Chandra this and also for very good job here. And also to all the finalists, they are arranging the feedback and all of this. We saw like a lot of amazing cool ideas, especially for you guys. So we will really extend our different programs. So a bit of questions I guess for you. is obvious. So there is some theories inside of the revolutions. So you guys know that what percentage of the populations that could bring about change? Get 20%, 50%, 1%, almost close enough. So it's about 3.5%. It's only that small minuscule number of 100% could bring about change. So we, who probably some of us is also funded probably by the Indonesian government, a small percentage of us who also privileged enough to go to see outside our country and probably learn from other places, and also probably could come back to Indonesia and also could contribute with our own ideas. So that's all the thing. So our hopes Indonesia students in Australia is so good and hopefully hope that we could also think about what kind of ideas will make Indonesia better, and also could amplify it even higher, and could hopefully make this is a successful dividend once we demographic. And also we could also contribute to Indonesia mass in 2045. So okay, that's definitely all from me. Please enjoy the food and drinks outside. And thank you everyone.